Let's be real, buying a car is a massive deal. It's a huge financial decision, and if you get it wrong, you could be stuck with years of headaches and just wallet-draining repairs. So we're going to dive into how you can avoid making a very, very expensive mistake. Okay, first, let's just get this number out there. $48,000. That is the average price of a new car today. That is not chump change. For a lot of us, that's one of the biggest purchases we'll ever make, period. So that leads to the crucial question, right? With that much money on the line, how do you make absolutely sure the car you pick is going to be a reliable partner and not some financial nightmare just waiting to happen? Well, that is exactly what we are going to break down right now. Here's the game plan. We're going to start with the big picture brand rankings, then zoom in on what actually makes a car reliable or not. We'll uncover a bit of an insider's tool for spotting known issues, do a deep dive on a super popular but kind of problematic SUV, and then we'll wrap it all up with a checklist to make you a much smarter car buyer. All right, first up, the big picture. Let's see which car brands are really acing the reliability test. And this is all based on data from over 300,000 different vehicles. So what's really interesting here is the shakeup at the very top. I mean, for years, it's just been Lexus and Toyota completely dominating. But look at this. Subaru has climbed all the way to that #1 spot. You can see their performance is just strong and consistent. Now, look way down at the bottom of the list. You see brands like GMC, Cadillac, and the EV maker Rivian, which, is kind of struggling with those issues that often pop up with brand new technology. And if we zoom out and look at the data by region, a long-standing trend becomes super clear. When you group these car makers by where they're from, Asian brands just continue to lead the pack, and by a pretty big margin. European automakers, they land somewhere in the middle, while US brands, on average, are trailing behind. In fact, 8 of the top 10 most reliable brands this year are from Asia. It's not just about the brand, it's also about the type of vehicle. Good old-fashioned cars, we're talking sedans, hatchbacks, wagons, they are still the most reliable category out there. And why is that? Well, they often use proven technology, which helps them avoid the bugs that come with all new features. SUVs are kind of in the middle, while pickup trucks as a whole category actually have the lowest average reliability score. Okay, so we know the reliable brands and the reliable vehicle types. Let's get even more specific. We're going to look at the powertrains, the engines, and the specific models you should be looking for, or maybe trying to avoid. Okay, this is pretty fascinating. While standard hybrids have become incredibly reliable, some of the newer electric tech is still working out the kinks. On average, pure electric vehicles have 42% more problems than traditional gas cars. But look at this. Plug-in hybrids, or PHEVs, are even worse, with 70% more issues. It kind of makes sense, right? That complexity of having 2 separate powertrains, one gas, one electric, it just creates more opportunities for things to go wrong. So, which specific cars are really hitting the mark? Well, this list is basically a who's who of the brands we saw at the top of the rankings. And check out how many of them are hybrids. You've got the Toyota Corolla and RAV4 hybrids, the Hyundai Elantra hybrid. These models really prove that mature hybrid technology is a fantastic, super reliable choice. And then you've got the flip side. These are the models with the lowest scores. See a theme here? The Ford F-150 hybrid is the single least reliable model in the entire survey. And you see several brand new models in EVs here, like the Mazda CX-90 PHEV and the Cadillac Lyriq. It just reinforces that old wisdom. Maybe wait a couple of years before buying a totally redesigned or all-new vehicle. But what if there's a known problem with a car, but it's not a full-blown safety recall? Well, there's an insider document that can give you a major heads up. It's called a Technical Service Bulletin, or a TSB. And this is what one looks like. Now, this isn't some secret memo. It's an official communication from a car company, in this case Ford, sent directly to its dealerships. It basically says, hey guys, we're seeing a lot of cars come in with this specific problem. Here's what's causing it, and here's exactly how to fix it. So let's decode this thing. This TSB is for a widespread transmission issue that causes harsh or delayed shifts. And look at the affected cars. A huge range of Ford's most popular vehicles built over several years. It even pinpoints the cause, a specific internal part that can move around and cause hydraulic leaks. Now, if you're a potential buyer, finding a TSB like this for a car you're thinking about, that is a major red flag. To really see how reliability can change so dramatically from year to year, let's do a little case study on one of the most popular compact SUVs on the road, the Nissan Rogue. This chart, it really tells a story. From the moment it debuted back in 2008, the Rogue was just plagued with issues, especially with its continuously variable transmission, the CVT. You can see these model years, 2008, 2011, 2013, and the redesigned 2014, they're all clearly labeled a void. And even as recently as 2018, owners were still reporting that CVT juddering and weird tech glitches. And we're not talking about minor inconveniences here. That notorious CVT failure on the early models, that was not a cheap fix. As this quote points out, replacement costs often went over $4,000. All of a sudden, that great deal you found on a used SUV doesn't look so great anymore. When you look at the most common problems, you see a really clear pattern across a lot of the Rogue model years. That CVT transmission is right at the top of the list, with potential repair costs hitting $5,500. But it doesn't stop there. AC failures, electrical glitches, and faulty safety tech are also really common complaints.
So, after hearing all that, what are the practical steps you can actually take to protect yourself and make a smart buy? Let's wrap all this up with a checklist you can actually use. Number 1, as that Rogue case study showed, you have to research the specific model year, not just the brand. 2, get the full service history, especially for sensitive parts like a CVT. 3, a thorough test drive is absolutely essential. 4, push every single button. And finally, and this is the most important step of all, always get a pre-purchase inspection from an independent, trusted mechanic. Seriously, it is the best $150 you will ever spend. Which really just leaves us with this final thought. When you're staring at that price tag, remember all the potential costs that could be lurking just under the surface. A cheap car that ends up needing thousands of dollars in repairs is no bargain at all. The true value comes from reliability and peace of mind. So choose wisely.